conservatives don't want to spend money. They don't want the government spending more money. Would this be a good way to spend some money to help the IRS collect more?
Enforcement is always helpful. But first, I'd like to congratulate Larry Summers for moving past the wealth tax. I think that's a great idea. It fails everywhere it's been tried. So let's talk about enforcement.
Has he talked about the plane yet?
Yeah. But it requires congressional resources, and this Congress is currently too busy doing something else called impeachment rather than legislating. They have to require enforcement resources to be able to get this done.
Vanessa, this seems like kind of a no-brainer. You don't even need new taxes.
I mean, I think that this is an important step no matter what kind of tax plan you want to see. If you want to do a wealth tax, absolutely you need the IRS to have the money to enforce that. There is an enormous amount of evasion and avoidance at the top, and those resources should not be left on the table.
Well, if you're going to tax unrealized capital gains, you're going to need some money for the IRS to just for computer systems, right?
Yeah, Elizabeth Warren is talking about trillions of dollars going to the IRS because of the difficulty in valuing all these assets and enforcing it.
You've got a government that's already not collecting the taxes that it should, that we're supposed to give more money to when we're there. You know, one of the things that really irritates the hell out of me is just how the billionaires are being vilified, when I think the billionaires are probably the greatest Americans we have. I mean, what would our country be without Jeff Bezos?
Right.
What would it be without all these guys who literally are creating jobs?
But you would not support additional funding for the IRS?
I would definitely support that, but it's got to be viewed as a problem. And if it's seen as a problem, then you ought to put resources up against it.
Yeah, but if I told you that you didn't, if you had a receivables problem at your company, right, the one place you'd put money is into collection.
And what I'm saying is, yes,
right.
I would definitely fund that in the government, but it's got to be seen as a problem. Then you got to, if that's a strategy, then you put the resources.
But you're saying it's a problem. By the way, most people in the Republican Party right now have no interest in funding collection.
Well, I will say, as Summers pointed out in that piece, enforcement has gone down over the last decade.
Right.
So this is a problem both parties have ignored. But also, I would also point out that OECD says the United States has one of the most progressive tax codes in the world when it comes to collection from the rich. So we're collecting from the rich. We're just not enforcing all of the collection we could be doing. Again, this is a resources problem. Congress needs to get its act together and put money there if they care about
this.
Yes,
but just to be 100% clear, this is not. You're making it out like it's some kind of bipartisan issue. It is not a bipartisan issue at all.
Over the last decade, there have been both parties in control.
Nope.
Not
Kevin
really.
Brady was on the record saying the IRS became politicized under Obama, so therefore they didn't want to fund it at the same levels. He was very clear about that. He felt like the IRS had become politicized, so therefore they wanted to reduce the funding.
And he had a fair point, and the courts agreed with him. Right. So I think until we get that right, of course we don't want to spend all this money if they're going to use it to target conservatives or any members of any political party.
You're smart, Robert Frank. Death and taxes. You cover taxes, you will always be here every day, yes. I think, right? Rachel, thank you. Vanessa, thank you. Robert, thank you, right? You're not going anywhere.
Death, wealth, and taxes.
Yeah.
The wealthy will always be with us, and so will taxes.
And so
well, we'll see about the wealthy if Liz has her way.